Hello and welcome to Tresco Abbey Garden. Today I'm going to give you a little insight into a fairly primitive group of plants that live here in the garden. They don't offer us flowers, they don't set seed in a traditional sense. Instead, they give us fantastic foliage and a way of planting up the deeper, darker, danker parts of the garden. I'm talking, of course, about ferns. Let's have a look. A common fern of the lower half of the garden is Woodwardia radicans, or the chain fern. Now, this plant needs a fair bit of space. It can be a touch thuggish at times, and that is down to its ability to vegetatively propagate itself. Now, radicans actually means with rooting stems, and if you look closely, you can see this woolly little nodule at the end of the stem. What happens is this will increase in size, the leaf will arch over, come into contact with the ground, and it will take root, thereby forming vast colonies of clones. Another interesting thing to look out is on top of the leaf you'll notice a stitch-like pattern, and this is caused by the sori, or spore-bearing structures underneath, coming through. Amazing. I'm here in the well garden with one of my favourite ferns. This is a Splenium oblongifolium, or the shining spleenwort. Now, it's a native to New Zealand, and the Maoris may know it as Hura Wenawa, and it has sacred connotations to them. I just love this glossy green foliage, especially when paired with plants like the Arthropodium serratum. Look at the combination between that and the strappy grey-green leaves of this. Perfect. Here all around me is the Japanese holly fern, or Septomium fulcatum. Let me tell you, it's a right doer. It's got these tough, leathery leaves that allow it to stand up to the salty conditions of the island. It can also tolerate temperatures down to -5 degrees and is fairly happy growing in slightly drier, darker positions in the garden. It would also serve you well as a houseplant. Now, I just love the scattered arrangement of sori on the underside of the leaves. Really nice fern. Here beside me is the majestic Dicksonia antarctica, or soft tree fern. It's one of the more recognisable tree ferns. It's hardy down to around -5 and doesn't mind soil types, but does prefer a sheltered location. Now, growth is slow, topping out at around 5 centimetres a year. Now, if you look just behind me, this one there, that's nearly 4 metres tall. So in this growing environment, could well be nearly 100 years old. Now, unlike woody trees, the trunk is a construct of roots and decaying leaf frond bases and makes an ideal substrate for little germinating seedlings. Here we have a few Metrosideros. Get a load of this beauty. This is the hen and chicken fern, or Osplenium bulbiferum. Now, it has this fantastic frilled foliage, and alone that makes it worth having. But if you look closer on this feathery leaf margin, you'll see little bulbils growing, little plantlets, and basically these will increase in size and eventually drop off onto the floor and take root, thus giving it its other name, the mother spleenwort. Here we have another spleenwort. Now this is totally different to the hen and chicken fern just behind me. This is a Splenium nidus. Now look at those grand big green leaves and that striking dark black midrib, really attractive. Shares a few characteristics to our native hartstongue fern, a Splenium scolopendrium, just much larger. Now this has a native range including places like tropical America, tropical Southeast Asia, Western Australia and even India. And in those environments, you probably find it growing way up in the tree as an epiphyte, giving it its name, the bird's nest fern. Now leaves can easily reach a metre long, but in some cases they've been recorded at 2 metres by 60 centimetres. This plant doesn't typically like temperatures below 10 degrees, but that doesn't mean it won't make a fantastic houseplant. If you provide it with a warm, humid area with moderate to indirect light, it will give you this amazing foliage inside. Give it a try. Here we have Dicksonia squarosa, or the rough tree fern. It's another native to New Zealand and known to the Maori as weki, and it grows abundantly over there due to its ability to send up runners from an underground rhizome. Because of its abundance, it's often harvested and used as fence posts and retaining walls. Now, sometimes these will reroot, resprout, and create the most magnificent living walls you've ever seen. In the wild, these would probably be adorned with dead, decaying fronds, but we trim them up to really show them off. How about this for a bit of ground cover? This is Zealandia pustulata, or the kangaroo fern, and as the name suggests, is a native to Australia, Tasmania and New Zealand. This rhizomatous fern is happy growing over soil, rocks, trees and even other tree ferns. It's even managed to find its way into the crowns of the huge Phoenix canariensis here. I think this plant is a real treasure to the garden, giving it that genuine jungle feel. This is Parablechnum cordata, or the Chilean hard fern, known locally as costillo de vaca, meaning cow's rib. Just look at the texture of this fern. Now, normally this area around me would be brimming with this fern, but as part of a general maintenance program, every 3 or 4 years, we come in, cut it, clear it away, and let the fresh growth take over. And I can't wait to see that in a couple of months. This is Ponga, the iconic silver tree fern of New Zealand, also known as Alsophylla delbata, easily distinguishable because of the white coloration on the underside of the fronds. Now, it reflects light so well that it was used by the native people to illuminate bush paths at night. Most of our specimens have been scorched by the recent winter winds, but I know a sheltered secret spot. Come with me. Now check out this monster. At over 6 meters, I'm sure that this is a UK champion. In the wild, they can reach 10 meters and have fronds 4 meters long. No wonder the New Zealanders are so fond of this fern. Now, this mossy looking bit of ground cover is Selaginella kraussiana and isn't technically a fern. It's more of a fern ally. Instead, it belongs to the lycophytes, an ancient lineage of plants dating back some 400 million years. Now, Selaginella is the sole genus in the family Selaginellaceae, which includes the amazing desert-dwelling resurrection plant. Now, this comes from sub-Saharan Africa and Micronesia, but it's found Tresco to be an ideal home. Here we have the black tree fern, or Sphaeropteris medullaris. Now, this is a native to New Zealand, and over there can reach whopping heights of 16 metres. The fronds can grow as long as 5 metres and hold as many as 40,000 individual leaflets. Over here at Tresco, it puts on around 30 centimetres of growth a year, and we have specimens approximately 7 or 8 metres tall. Just look at those dark black leaf stems and the texture of this trunk. Amazing. Well, that's everything for now. What you've seen today is just a selection of the ferns here at Tresco, but in recent years there's been a massive effort to introduce some really rare and interesting specimens to the garden, and I can't wait to see them mature in the coming years. Come and have a look for yourself. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.